Afternoon in the kitchen, as you can see this afternoon. Richard's at work and I'm just taking an hour out. Actually, it's mostly going to be about half an hour to start getting our supper ready. And this evening we're going to be having butterbean and cider casserole. It's one of our favourite dishes as the winter months draw in, and it is incredibly easy to do. It just uses onions, carrots, olive oil, some herbs, butter beans, and of course the obligatory bottle of cider. So I'm just going to crack on with it. Hope this will not be too long for you, and make our supper for this evening. So here we have our ingredients. This is 500 grams of pre-soaked beans that have been cooked for 10 minutes and the water drained out. These actually aren't our own gigantes. These are a packet of butter beans that I found at the back of the cupboard. So that's what we're using today. Some of them you may see have already gone slightly broken. That's fine, because this is going to end up as a really hearty, creamy dish. Then we've got 6 large carrots. I've got 8 sort of medium and large carrots here. We're going to be using 6 cloves of garlic, a large onion. This is actually the largest onion that we grew this year. Then here we've got a tablespoon of bouillon powder, or vegetable stock powder, a half tablespoon of Mediterranean herbs or herb de Provence, olive oil, 2 bottles, I think that's about 1 litre of cider. This is just relatively cheap cider. I think one's from Morrison's and one's from Lidl, and black pepper. So I'm going to prep the ingredients now, which is basically going to be roughly chopping the onion, peeling and roughly chopping these carrots. So if you're using your own carrots, or you don't like peeling carrots, don't peel them, but do give them a good scrub. Chopping up our onions, and then they are going to go into the pan with the olive oil. Okay, so here we have our casserole. Hopefully that's in shot. It is, yes. I think it's in focus, yeah. So what we're doing is just putting the heat on now. Pop it onto a medium heat for a short while. Putting it down. You can see here, hopefully, that the garlic and the onions have been chopped quite roughly. There's going to be a lot of cooking time here. And the carrots have been cut and chopped very chunky, again, because there's going to be a lot of cooking time. We don't want these to completely disintegrate. Right, so what we're going to do now, add some olive oil, about a tablespoon. Turn the heat up a bit. Get that all going. Okay, and now we're going to add in our onions. Got them all out. Just coat those in olive oil. You can see it's all quite chunky. Right, I don't want these to brown, and I'm adding the carrots straight away as well. Take that one out, that looks a bit hard. Right, so we're just going to bring that up to heat. want these to slightly steam. I'm just adding a tablespoon of water. And then I'm going to cover that and just let it slowly steam on a low heat for about 5 minutes. Right, so this has been cooking now slowly for about 5 minutes. That's looking good. Hope you can see that. They've just softened a bit. Not really taken on any colour, which is, we don't really want any colour. There's a little bit there, but that's fine. Now what we're going to do, good grinding of black pepper. And I do mean a good grinding of black pepper. I think that was about 20 or 25 turns. Okay, this is going to have long cooking for all of these flavours to merge. Our herb de Provence and the bouillon powder. You can crumble up a stock cube and put it in as well. Vegetable stock cube. Our liquid here is coming mainly from the cider. So we don't want to put too much liquid in at this stage. We can thin it down later if we want to. And in go the butter beans. So again, that's 500 grams of dried butter beans that have been soaked overnight in water and then cooked for 10 minutes on a rolling boil. Just to start cooking them a bit. These are quite old ones, I think, and they've broken up a bit. But that really isn't going to change the end dish at all. Just turn that all around. Put the heat up a bit. Right. In goes the cider and turn the heat right up. If you just want to use one bottle of cider, then do, but add further liquid. That looks like a lot of liquid, but we're going to be cooking this for a long time. This one is actually going to be going in the oven, and all of the butter beans, they're not cooked at the moment. Some of them are broken up, but they're not cooked. So we're going to bring this up to a boil, and then it's going to, once it's up to the boil, we're going to put it into an oven at 180 for 1 hour and turn it down to 160 for a further hour. If you want to cook this on the hob like this, then once it's up to a boil, just turn it down to a simmer and have a look at it after an hour. In fact, if it goes in the oven, have a look at it after an hour, give it a stir, and after half an hour, give it another stir. So if you're cooking it on the hob, same thing. After an hour, give it a stir, and then keep on checking every half hour. It may take less time on the hob. But I haven't done it on the hob for actually years. I've always bunged it in the oven. So that's what we're going to do. Once this is up to the boil as I said, lid on into a hot oven, 180 degrees fan for 1 hour. Give it a stir, turn the oven down to 160 and let it cook for another hour, checking it once after half an hour. So that's now coming to a boil. Could be a bit of time yet. But yeah, I'm going to close that off now, get it up to the boil, and then it will go to the oven. Have the finished dish. As you can see, some of the butter beans are still whole, but many have just gone into an absolutely lovely, oh, that's just gorgeous. So all of that liquid that we put in has been taken up by the butter beans. The carrots have gone nice and soft. And this is just ready to eat. Okay, so that's our butterbean and cider casserole, and it's hot. It is absolutely yummy. I mean, we've been making this, I would have thought, most probably for about 10 years. Even before we were veggie, we were making this. The carrots, because they've been cooked for so long, are really quite sweet. And obviously the cider adds to the sweetness, but it also adds to the depth of flavour. The butter beans have just gone all soft. Some have gone completely creamy, others are still pretty whole. The onions have obviously just dissolved into the whole. And that's hot. Yeah, you know what, it's as good as ever. It really is. Now, to just let you into a little secret, now is actually tomorrow. So we've done a bit of time travel. When it came to eating, after we made the butterbean cider casserole yesterday, we were so hungry we just dived in. We didn't take any video footage. We didn't take any photos, any video footage. So this is actually almost a day later. And you know what? It heats up really, really well. It does. This has been microwaved for about 3 minutes on a medium power, and then just boosted for 30 seconds. So it reheats really well in the microwave. You can also put it into a saucepan, maybe add just a tablespoon of additional water to it, and then heat it up in a saucepan. It freezes incredibly well. So we've made enough here for most probably for 6 big portions, 8 very decently sized portions. So if you want to batch cook, which we do, because at the end of the day, it saves on your time and it saves on electricity for cooking and that type of thing. If you want to batch cook and put this in the freezer, you can keep it in the freezer we've kept it for up to a year. I'm sure everyone would say only leave it 6 months. We've kept it for up to a year. Let it defrost completely, and then again reheat in a saucepan or in a microwave. And this would also be fabulous, though we haven't done it. I've seen it done by somebody else. It would be fabulous if you put this onto some sourdough toast and had it with some lovely crunchy toast. Anyway, there we are. That's our butterbean and cider casserole. It took 2 days to film this, or 24 hours to film it anyway. But in reality, it most probably took half an hour of prepping the ingredients and also cooking the ingredients before they went into the oven. So a really quick and really lovely meal. So do have a go at it. A number of people have said they don't know what butter beans are in America. They're lima beans. So this would be a lima bean stew in America. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and please do subscribe if you haven't already. And give it a thumbs up if you want to give it a thumbs up. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.